How's... Can't this wine taste the same as I remember?
Looks like it's about time for us to meet up with Ganyu. Let's...
Greetings, Traveler and Paimon.
Are you okay, Ganyu? You were nodding.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Since last time, I've been thinking a lot about the story. In essence, someone rescued a drowning man and performed some music. If that were all, but the tune was allegedly so wonderful that the drowning man forgot perhaps there was an adeptal power at work in that music that he, as a mortal, could not perceive. Either way, if this part of the story is true...
You really think so? But this story is all the way from Fontaine. Isn't this also? Paimon's really curious about how people from Fontaine think this fairy lady looked. Then she looked just like Ganyu. Actually, Ganyu, if you had to save a drowning person, how would you go about...
Huh? Me? Well, I'd get them to the once I was sure that they were going to be okay.
Got it. So basically, Ganyu's the type of person who does...
No, it's not like that. I'm just not very good at explaining.
Well, what if this adeptus in the story had a similar attitude? She was probably thinking something like... One...
As far as I'm aware, Cloud Retainer, if you'll be able to confirm either way if it's her. I've been in Lea Harbor for so long now that I'm just...
Sounds great! And we're pretty close with...
I've prepared a gift for her to mark the festival. Cloud Retainer, never mind. I promised I'd help Mr. Dvorak. Traveler, Paimon.
Seems like this is a tough decision. Paimon gets why she'd be so... Wait, did she leave already? Paimon's so tired from trying to keep up. Don't either of you need to take any... Huh?
She doesn't like to travel. So in the past, true. Since she's not here...
Uh-oh. Got it!
Please go on, Paimon.
Our goal here is to find the Adeptus that helped Dvorak's ancestor, right? We can't hear any music right now, but if she's really as nice as the...
Yes, I think that's...
So, all we have to do is get the Traveler to pretend to fall. You know perfectly well that Paimon can't swim. Paimon would sink like a rock. Just trust Paimon. The water's pretty deep over there. Victory is almost ours! Whew, that was a tough fight. Help! Help! Someone's drowning! If only there was a kind-hearted Adeptus here to save us! Oh no! Whatever will a Paimon do?
What is going on?
How do you feel right now?
Shenhe! And the Conqueror of Demons.
Why don't you say something? Please don't make Paimon explain it. Okay, fine. Paimon will explain. We're looking for an Adeptus who's good at being a lifeguard and playing music. But if the Adepti aren't gonna stay home, then how are we supposed to find them?
It wasn't me.
Yeah, so this Adeptus is most likely a woman.
And I am not an Adeptus, as you both already know, Traveler and Paimon.
Okay, so this is Paimon's fault. No way Paimon would have suggested this idea if she'd known how awkward this was gonna be.
Glad you're okay. As far as I know, the one you seek is no Yaksha. And one last thing. Your actions here caused others a great deal of worry. Do not repeat them again in the future.
As ever, the Conqueror of Demons comes and goes, just like the wind.
Right. I didn't dare to say a word just now. How's your training going, Shenhe? Have you made any plans for Lantern Rite? We could spend it together in Liyue Harbor if you'd like.
Oh, I had planned to spend
Oh, speaking of Cloud Retainer,
earlier this morning. She set off for Mount Hulao. I noticed she was using an Adeptus art of some kind to protect a mechanism that looked like a boiler.
so we just missed her. Please excuse me for a moment. I think I'll leave.
Sure. Thank you.
It sounds like Ganyu and Shenhe have gotten a lot closer.
Yes. During the summer and winter, I continued to train with Master. In the other months of the Ganyu arranged accommodations for me in the city, and also recommended, but when I try to blend in by referring to her as Miss Ganyu or Lady Ganyu, like the others, she says I mustn't address her like that. Sometimes I'm supposed to copy other people. Sometimes I'm not. Oh, is that what it is? Noted. So, you came looking for Master today because you wanted to ask her about the Mystery Adeptus. Is that right?
Yep. Oh, speaking of that, have you ever heard any music while out training in the mountains?
Music?
It's... a kind of...
Okay, I'm done. I also left her a note so that she knows where to find us. We won't miss her again.
Yay! That's...
We were just talking about this thing called music, and based on Paimon's description...
Oh, really?
This is the place. I enjoy training here to the sound of music.
Oh no! Paimon's gone deaf! Paimon can't hear anything! Oh, whew! Paimon hasn't gone deaf. Anyway.
The faint sound of birdsong, the quiet murmur of the
Oh. Okay, fine. It's all Paimon's fault.
Oh. And a melody is?
Huh?
Hey, why don't you just sing that one melody Shen has heard before?
Oh, was that from the opera that Yoon...
That was a melody,
It felt like I was transported back to the past. In my mind's eye, I could... We're all there, raising our glass. As I watched Yoonjin's performance, I felt a warm sensation in my heart when you hummed that melody just now. So...
Wow, Shenhe. That was so deep! Music definitely has the power to bring up memories. It's like a time capsule with all the special moments from our... What about you, Ganyu? Are there any melodies that have left a deep impression on you?
I don't remember if my parents ever said. I know some local folk songs, the songs of the sailors down at the dock. Yes, that's right. In the past, whenever I heard the sound of those tunes, Nenny and Liyue probably view me as a non-human. And they are right, in the sense that I never could connect with humans' artistic at least, that's the view I held in the past. Only more recently did I start the way those melodies make me feel, even though we come from different in that sense.
You go, Ganyu! You're really...
Yes, I am. Technically speaking, we should refer to each other by the conventional forms of address used among fellow disciples.
Thank you.
Once the days are warmer, I've planted many types of flowers.
You are
Nonsense. I have cultivated and cared for the flowers just as you... I will save some for decoration. We can feast on the rest.
Then, thank you in
Do people say that?
It doesn't matter, okay? You got the point across. No need to split hairs. Paimon's more concerned about your idea of a girl's
Who dares refer to one not by one's Adeptus title, but merely as that illuminated bird?
Master.
Our greetings, Cloud Retainer.
Ah! There it is! The illuminated bird has landed!
Double humph. Now she has the gall to use it rather than she, even after being chastised once already? Barely a moment has passed since we last met, and yet your impertinence has reached new heights. Very well. If you refuse to learn your lesson, one shall scold you no further. One has received your message from Ganyu. On the matter of the Adeptus you seek, one suspects to know their identity. Well, shall one lead the way?
I still have to complete my training for today, so I will bid farewell to everyone here.
Very well. Await my arrival at one's abode later this night. On this special occasion, you should indulge yourself with some savory...
If you want to release a Shao Lantern, come and find us anytime.
Thank you, everyone. Happy Lantern Rite.
Is this... Quaily Plains? Retainer, why did you bring us here?
Ganyu is of course familiar with the name Guizhong, but have you? Guizhong is another name of Agentis, the god of dust. She was extra long ago. This region was yet a prosperous assembly. Guizhong often invited her friends to visit her home, reserving for us seats around the largest stone table. Sea Gazer would always bring out his latest treasure and place it upon the table. He could be quite the braggart, though usually a
Paimon remembers that name. So that's what Sea Gazer was like.
He was an old friend and a former rival. Once he had brought out the treasure, it would predictably become the center of attention. Neither Guizhong nor one was content to let him just steal the spotlight. So we would then also, as Adepti, we were each gifted in our own ways, and naturally proud of our accomplishments in our respective fields of expertise. His treasures were not even of his own making. He just used his exploration skills to dig them out of the ground. How, pray tell, could he compare to me, when every single one of one's accomplishments were crafted by one's own hand?
Cloud Retainer, you are getting competitive again.
One digresses. Regardless, every time an argument occurred, Guizhong would come over to watch us during our mutual lambastics. On some occasions, she would join in, and on others, she'd take one of us by the limb and start uttering the most ridiculous nonsense.
What kind of nonsense?
No kind of nonsense were we spared. Sometimes she would brazenly opine, why argue between yourselves when neither of you could ever hope to beat me? Other times, she would make unsolicited suggestions, such as, once you two are done arguing, let's go to the foot of the mountain and grill some meat. She always sought to make everyone happy, and one must say, she had quite the gift for it. No matter what nonsense she said, one never felt bothered or offended. It also helped that she never referred to one as that illuminated bird or ladybird.
Come on, get over yourself!
Anyway, just as our impassioned arguments would reach the apex of acrimony, Marchosius would bring his delectable dishes to the table. Who would dare snub the stove god and his wondrous creations? At the sight of him, we would all Back then, one was always bothered by how the cups Rex Lapis brought were always too square for one's taste. Can you see yourself? Precisely. So, as you can see, even one could never find fault with Marchosius's cooking. As we ate, Guizhong would continue. Each of those old fossils had their character flaws and points of obstinacy. We would drink together from a spot high in the mountains, until the moon set and the sun rose. Streetwood Rambler would often remain to admire the flowers with Guizhong before returning to her own abode. The glazed lilies were far more
Streetward Rambler?
That would be Ping. You probably know her as Madam Ping.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is a lovely story and everything, but... are you saying that it was Guizhong?
Alas, long has one avoided this place for precisely that reason. One should have guessed that you would disrupt one's poignant moment of mourning with your incessant questioning. No matter, one will share the whole story with you now. In times gone by, one quarreled oft with Guizhong concerning mechanical principles. We each had our ideals, and neither would yield. Under the pretext of a social gathering, one invited the impartial Rex Lapis to judge the quality of our creations. But Rex Lapis declared that Guizhong's Obscuro Vulpus mechanism was superior. Though one was too proud to acknowledge it, In one's heart, one knew that Guizhong was indeed the superior talent in the mechanical arts. As for the story between Guizhong and Streetward Rambler, that begins with a certain bell. In Guizhong's opinion, while mechanisms were no substitute for human composers, they were yet capable of producing simple but fine melodies. But Streetward Rambler believed music to be an expression of the soul, an emotional enterprise that could never hope to be replicated by machinery. They argued endlessly, until one asked Rex Lapis to intercede. He confiscated the bell and designated it for ceremonial use. Thereafter, one would often find them convening in the mountains, discussing music, mechanics, and all the affairs of the mortal world. But these good times were not to last. War broke out between the gods, and soon engulfed the Guili Plains. Guizhong was overpowered by the enemy, and fell in battle. When Streetwood Rambler and I arrived at the scene at long last, all that remained among the ruins was her lifeless body. After this, at Streetwood Rambler's request, Rex Lapis granted her the cleansing bell for safekeeping. To honor our friend's memory, one made a few finishing touches to her ballistic device. Many lantern rites have passed since then. Many greetings and goodbyes. Upon what do you gaze? The Guili Plains?
No. It's everything. We think of human life as like a lantern that's lit one minute and extinguished the next. But are we Adepti so different? Perhaps as dust settles after a storm, we too must one day return to the world below.
One has always been austere and private by nature, and has never relished socializing. One's dealings with—
What? You have loads of friends! And
Just because one is not ignorant of social graces does not mean one is fond of them. But in the end, one is nothing like Streetward Rambler. She is dauntless but thoughtful, not to mention eloquent and wise. Moreover, back when they were rivals, they would often compete against one another. That cleansing bell was one of Guizhong's proudest works, having the ability—
wait, that's weird. Didn't Madame Ping say she pestered an old friend for that? And she also said something about being a vain beauty.
Streetward Rambler, a vain beauty. That bell has a sad history. Clearly, as for her old friend, as soon as Streetward Rambler heard that a certain Zhang Li wished to borrow the bell, she realized that the man was none other than Rex Lapis, and that he had made an enormous decision. After all, we all have known each other for several millennia.
Whoa! So they were talking in secret code?
Enough of your intrusions. Where was one up to? Ah, yes. One remembers now. The cleansing bell is powered by a mechanical art, and can be used to great effect as a— But Streetward Rambler did not acquire it from Rex Lapis for the purpose of producing further funerary tunes. No. Each time she rang it, it was to play the tune that The two once clashed over their beliefs about the meaning of music. Who would have thought that with Guizhong— Once upon a time, Streetwood Rambler also loved gatherings, liquor, and music. But after Guizhong, music would go from mournful to soothing. Many years passed before she finally composed a melody to our satisfaction. In celebration, which brings one back to the matter you've been investigating. Perhaps—
But if she was so happy with the melody,
one was also greatly perplexed by this. After suppressing one's curiosity, in response, though the strings that played that melody survive, the one who inspired—
aww.
I just remember being taken care of by you when I was young. Once, although I met Guizhong a few times,
Gui Zhang was quite the vision. Had you not decided to search for that mystery? As of now, you know the truth. Do you intend to discuss this with her?
do you mean Ping might find the topic too distressing?
Precisely. The passing of our old friend is a heavy topic.
If I may be so bold, Cloud Retainer,
Oh? How so?
I've been in Leo Harbor for quite a long time now, and I've witnessed many farewells, but this doesn't bring the city or its people to someone as perceptive and wise as Ping will surely have. Though these immortal mountains have lost an Adeptus, the harbor, no loss can ever be undone. But Ping has helped countless people, and will guide many others in the years to come. And although it is heartbreaking to lose a kindred spirit, life goes on. Because
We even asked Madame Ping what she thought about adding a music festival to this year's. When we get back, why don't we just ask her if she'd.
why don't you come with us? It's been a long time since you last spoke with Ping. And Leo Harbor.
Is not every lantern rite the same in this regard? Were there ever anything new to discuss?
I disagree. Each new day and each new year is different from those that have come before.
Very well. Then one will be off. If the other old fossils have sneaked away into the city to amuse themselves, one shall soon find out.
All right. We should be getting back to the harbor as well. If we planted flowers there and cared for.
Allow one to take back one's praise from a moment prior. You are still far too given to flights of fancy, child.
What? Cloud Retainer?
One observed that you were making no effort to leave, and returned to chasten and hasten you. This time, one is departing in earnest.
Follow my lead.
Whoa! Madame Ping?
It appears you made haste after all. One.
Oh, bless my soul.
Miss Illuminated Bird, haven't.
Said what, precisely? And why should one be tasked with
Cuz you're the one who's known Madame.
street word?
Oh, Cloud Retainer, you are uncommonly polite today.
One, Given that lantern rite is almost upon us, the weather in the city is most pleasant, and a sweet floral fragrance lingers in the air. Ganyu, please continue from here.
Huh? All right. So, this all started because we were trying to help Mr. Dvorak find the Adeptus who saved his ancestor's life. Cloud Retainer informed us that the one who played that melody and rescued the drowning man was none other than yourself.
Ah, let me think. Yes, I do believe I recall that encounter. What a long time ago that was. I'm surprised that you still remember it. Even more astonishing, perhaps, is the fact that this story has survived this long at all, when mortal lives are so very brief. It appears that she has proven herself right once again.
Who's she?
We like to call her Guizhong. From the look in Cloud Retainer's eyes, I sense that she has already told you all about her.
Albeit reluctantly, one might add.
There is no harm done. After all, Lantern Right's very purpose is to commemorate the heroes who gave their lives for Liyue. Although Guizhong did not live to see the splendid sights of today, she was as much a hero as any other.
So how has she proven herself right again exactly?
Once upon a time, she said to me that humans were a weak form of life that she wished to protect with her wisdom. But as she interacted more and more with them, her opinions on them began to change. She marveled at the beautiful complexity of their spirits, the sheer splendor of all they could accomplish through their hard work and intelligence. She told us that to underestimate human potential would be to make a grave mistake. With the smallest amount of guidance, enormous power can be unleashed in them. And a human who has reached their full potential may well be her equal. Someone who could have as much to teach an Adeptus as to learn from them.
She always had a way with words. That her mechanical accomplishments were judged superior to one's own was, one suspects, in large part due to her sheer eloquence.
Speaking of mechanics, Cloud Retainer, do you still remember that potted plant mechanism? The one that the two of you gave me as a gift?
Of course. Guizhong and one both put an immense amount of effort into that gift. It would be no overstatement to call it—
As Guizhong once said, it takes every blade of grass. When I see the sight of Liyue Harbor before us today,
Madame Ping looks very emotional right now.
of all of us, it was Guizhong who was the— If she were still with us, I'm quite sure she would still be—
Liyue Harbor is always filled with the sound of music at this time of the year. If
Oh, yeah! Music! We've been dying to ask. What was the melody that you— Oh, also, with you being such a music expert and—
I can make arrangements right away.
Oh, as much as I don't— It's been a long time since I played this zither, and whenever I play that tune, it always reminds me. There was a period of time whenever I started strumming, it almost felt like she was back again. Sitting right there on the stone, no matter how much time goes by. The moment that melody starts playing, it—
So the past still weighs heavily on your heart?
Oh, I would be lying to myself if I— But that is not to say that grief, despite the sadness, I have found many things that bring me joy in life. Just look at this potted plant. Isn't it stunning?
it takes an honest and open mind to confront and conquer grief.
Be that as it may, I shall leave—
Well, if you're—
Granny! Whoa, what's everyone doing here? Did something bad happen?
Ah, and now we've spooked Yanfei. No, everyone's just here to give me—
Oh, that's wonderful, I'm glad. Well, in that case, happy Lantern Rite.
Happy Lantern Rite. Oh, I just remembered that I will leave Mr. Dvorak in your capable hands. Cloud Retainer?
Huh? Does it have to be right now? Which case is...
It seems Ganyu still has much—
What a pity. She has learned nothing of one's ability to—
Since it's been so long, Cloud Retainer, why don't you stay? I'll make a cup of tea, and
Gladly. This was one's intent.
when you next see the Fontaine musician, please give him my regards.
You got it, Madame Ping!
Thank you all. I think you've listened to it. As for that melody, I will play it for you all another time.
Wow, that'd be great!
When that time comes, wherever her spirit may be among the countless grains of sand and—
All right, let's go tell Mr. Dvorak the news. Mr. Dvorak! Ah, and Kuching's here too! Thanks for helping set all of this up.
Welcome back.
Really, really well. We found the person, Mr. Dvorak.
Are... I see. So the melody might... That certainly explains why it was such a pop...
Huh. That's a really interesting first reaction. Guess that comes...
I have to say, though, it's hard to believe that the
Oh, Paimon knows exactly what you mean. No, but Streetward Rambler, or Madam Ping as we know...
Madam Ping possesses vast knowledge and great wisdom. Whatever physical form she may decide to take, her mind...
Yep, Kuching summed it up perfectly. That's
I think... that can wait until after the concert, though.
Ah, speaking of, Madam Ping wishes you up. Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that she'll stay in her usual spot, but listen...
Wait, are you serious? Huh. Oh no, now I'm starting to get nervous. Okay, alright. Nope, another rehearsal's in order. Please excuse me, everyone.
Mr. Dvorak? He's already gone. Paimon wasn't even finished telling him everything. Before we set off on our search with Ganyu, he asked us about what music means to people. After...
Please, share your insights with me.
Well, we found out that, it can make people happy and moved. And music is, like, a kind of memory
It sounds like you had an eventful trip. Don't worry.
Wait, does that mean you're
Just a few things, as long as everyone enjoys the Happy Lantern Rite to you as well.
Whew. That should be everything taken care of, right? Oh, no, wait. Paimon feels like she's forgetting something. What was it? Oh, it feels like it was a while ago. Shoot! Latent... Wait, no. Zhangli said he wasn't in it. Anyway, even if we... Anyway...
Da 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 da. Da da da. Oh.
All right, let's take a break here.
Oh wow, look who it is! Are you here to hang out with everyone's favorite funeral director?
So you're just casually practicing your rapping skills at the entrance to your
After everything we've been, we have all this open space, a clear view of the mountains behind and the
invisible...
Gotta say, it took me a few days to get you...
Xinyan was pretty spooked too when she first got here.
Just come on, knock it up. What's wrong? I've never seen someone look so confused. There once was a Fontaine musician. With my words, Xinyan's court will take the stage by storm with flames roaring and the...
For sure! The whole dance floor will be yelling encore! Encore!
Oh, don't you worry about that.
Guess we'll just have to...
Oh, Zhongli. He took one of those fancy meal boxes and set off for...
It's a real pity that he couldn't be around for this, as well as being a true connoisseur.
Yeah, that's right. To tell the truth, though, I never thought I'd...
Well, now you know. The Wangsheng...
I can speak to that. Hu Tao is... Oh,
And jump scares.
actually, Xinyan, I have some lyric ideas.
Sure thing.
Oh, Traveler in Paimon. I believe Zhongli was heading to Mount Hulao. When you see Zhongli, please pass on this message to him. It's up to him whether he wants to. You should join us too. It'll be up.
Okay, everyone. I think that's a long enough break.
Ugh, Miss Eunice, such a
Well, you were desperate to get involved, and this is what it takes. If I gave you half the chance, you'd be sipping tea till...
Hey,
How about some stir-fried?
Where are we gonna find crab roast?
We could always just go. Now I'm hungry.
Paimon sees them! It's illuminated deer and illuminated bird number 2!
A familiar face. Have you come from Liyue Harbor? How is the city nowadays?
Everything's great! But if you're...
In fact, Mooncarver has been taking many walks on Mount Tianheng in recent times. I believe that...
Zhongli! Here you are! We've brought the bamboo...
Impeccable timing. Traditionally, bamboo shoot soup ought to be slow-cooked for many hours on low heat.
Wait, that...
Indeed. Cloud Retainer kindly lent me her supreme...
Can we not just call it a cooking machine? She seems to take a lot of pride in her mechanical gizmos, so it's probably best if...
I trust that you found the answers you were seeking. Excellent. The past should be remembered, but not overly dwelt upon. When the bamboo shoot soup is ready,
Oh, Zhongli! Huta told us to tell you something. She said, it's up to him whether he wants to support us at the performance tonight, but when she says performance, she must mean the land. As for the banquet, she didn't tell us
As you can see, I have a prior engagement with 2 Adepti friends of mine tonight. Please, give Director Hu my best wishes for the performance. As for the banquet, since the Director insists, far be it from a mere consultant like myself to refuse.
Yay! Then we'll see you there?
Absolutely.
Rex Lapis, the bamboo shoot soup is...
Thank you. I will examine... The appearance is exquisite, and the aroma rich and intense. The craftsmanship of this machine... Since you came all this way, you should not leave empty-handed. Please, take some soup. It tastes most... I intend to reminisce with my old friends for a while longer.
Had one known that Cloud Retainer was in possession of such eminently useful devices, one would have sought to borrow one.
And yet, since you share my lack of enthusiasm for mechanisms and fine dining...
Not so. Had one had such a device to make up for one's lack of culinary prowess...
In that case, shall we rendezvous with Cloud...
A fine idea. A fine idea indeed.
I'm honored to be here on the Iridescence Tour stage. All right, without further ado, I'm Xinyan, this is Hitao, and this is a little something called...
The Bling Lilies!
I'm up here blazing trails through the midnight sky, lighting up the world below. And when the crowds all hear my voice, they'll meet the spirit of rock and roll.
Let's go! Hey, you butterfly, you two buzzing by, guiding your way to the afterlife, opening the path without a fright. Oh, I'll light the fire, watch it blaze across the universe. I'll spit my rhymes, watch your step, or you'll get burned. Hey! Woo! Yeah!
Does anyone have any plans tomorrow? With another year behind us, I think we deserve a celebration of our own. My treat. Interested?
The Tianquan footing the bill? I can't miss out on that.
Master, listen!
May the year ahead be a blessed one.
I believe it shall be.
Master, the Xiao Lanterns,
Elementary. One shall fashion for you a Xiao Lantern, the likes of which the world has never seen. And you must take it to Liyue Harbor to display its magnificence for all.